just got done watching Ohio State's 42-9 victory on Senior Day at home in the shoe over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. We're here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly to this football game. Do us a big favor if you don't mind, everybody. Smash that like button or the button. The button would be actually do better than the bucking. I don't even know what the bucking is, but if you can find one, go ahead and smash that as well. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And of course, let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. I'm sure my reaction to this is going to get some of you either agreeing with me or disagreeing with me as we enter officially Hate Week as Buckeye fans. It is the greatest time of year. Time for some redemption as Ohio State will be traveling up to that whore known as Ann Arbor next Saturday, 12 noon on Fox. Make sure you take all of that in. We're going to be in Bucyrus, Ohio, by the way, having a great time in the back room at the pizza place there in Bucyrus. Looking forward to that. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, more information on that to come throughout the week. All right, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start off with the good because I like to be a positive person if at all possible, and let's do that. Caden Curry, have yourself a day, young man. What a game. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, uh, 4 total tackles, or excuse me, solo tackles, 2 assists, 6 tackles total on the day. Caden Curry in his last game in the shoe, unless we host a playoff game for whatever reason. His last game in the shoe, definitely a memorable one. Great job, Caden Curry. Max Clare, have yourself a day as well, young man. He actually led the team in receiving 7 catches, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Did have that fumble, but it wasn't lost. But he did have a fumble on the game. More about the fumble Rooskies later on in this video. But Max Clare had himself a day as well. His best game as a Buckeye. And the longer Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate aren't playing, the more important it is that Max Clare is that dude that gives you a receiving threat. Obviously, today he was the biggest receiving threat we had by far. It wasn't even close. David Adolph and Brandon Ennis both had 2 receptions. Jelani Thurman won, another tight end, mind you. Bennett Christian won, another tight end. Bo Jackson out of the backfield, running back. Um, Bryson Rogers, no catches. Mylan Graham, no catches. C.J. Donaldson, he had a ball thrown to him, but he didn't catch it. Um, yeah, that was, again, more on come on that here in a minute. But Max Clare, definitely the biggest receiving threat today by far. Over 250 plus yards of rushing on the ground. Now, we knew Rutgers was bad at stopping the run. They've been bad at it all year. UCLA, Rutgers, the last 2 teams we played, 2 of the worst in the Big Ten at stopping the run. Ohio State knew this. The very first drive, they were exploiting that, and you kind of had a feeling that they were going to hopefully get out to a lead and use the running attack to build a lead. And because there's obviously some issues in the passing department without Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. There, I said it. I think that's nothing that all of you didn't see with your own 2 eyes as well. But the running game was fantastic. Bo Jackson finishes with 19 carries for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. Should have been 3. Fumble Rooskies again. We'll get to that in a second. 5.8 yards per carry. James Peoples, 3 carries, 55 yards, 1 touchdown. That's good for 18.3 yards per carry. And for the second week in a row, a awesome touchdown run by James Peoples. Didn't have to leap over anybody this week. In fact, no one even came close to even touching. Good job on the blocking on that run. It was a great run play there where James Peoples went to the right side, sealed off the block there. Jelani Thurman with a great block as the tight end. And he just ran by everybody, and he was off to the races. Easy touchdown run by James Peoples. Isaiah West, 8 carries for 48 yards. That's good for 6 yards per carry. Lincoln Keenholz at the quarterback position, 3 carries, 37 yards, 12.3 per carry. CJ Donaldson Jr., 3 carries, 8 yards, 2.7 yards per carry. He also had a touchdown. If you're keeping track at home, that's 4 rushing touchdowns in this football game. Should have been 5, but beggars can't be choosers. That's the good. Was there some other good in this game that I didn't mention that you think deserved to be on this graphic? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's move off to the bad. Let's talk about a little bit of that passing game. Julian Sain, lack of chemistry with the receivers in this game was evident. Brandon Ennis, obviously, he never is like open, like wide open. It seems like he struggles getting separation. Maybe it's a little bit scheme. Maybe it's his position, possibly there that he's playing, but Adolph had a little bit more separation than what I saw from Brandon Ennis at times. Maybe Julian didn't see him. I don't know. Just observation here. But there was a play. It just sticks in my craw. Mylan Graham. It was a 5-yard back shoulder fade. He runs 8 yards, turns around. The football's back there where he should have turned around. They then, obviously, because they were talking about Jeremiah Smith, Fox pans over to the sideline. There's Jeremiah Smith, and he is giving the biggest stink eye to Mylan Graham. Like, bro, come on. Obviously, there is some chemistry issues there, in my opinion, between the backup receivers and Julian Sain. And let's just be honest here, folks. Without Tate and Smith in the lineup, this is not the same passing attack. It's not. Nor should you expect it to be. But what do you think? Should it have been this bad? It looked pretty bad at times. At least with the receivers. Shout out Max Clare. Great game. The tight ends were balling today. But the receivers, who's our backup receivers? Because Bryson Rogers, no catches. Mylan Graham, I didn't even see him play in the first half. No catches. Yeah, apparently it's Adolph and Brandon Ennis are your 2 receivers. Ton of 12-man personnel with tight ends. Understand completely why. We wanted to run the football, and it worked. But if Smith and Tate don't go next week against the team up north, I'm a little afraid Michigan's just going to tee off on our running game here, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I didn't like the back and forth in the second half between Lincoln Keenholz and Julian Sain. It was clunky. It was confusing at times. And the argument I'm getting from the chat was at the time during the game was this is Ryan Day's way of maybe getting in Michigan's head. I'm sorry, I disagree. If anything, if that's the case, he's in his own head. Hey, let's try this, let's try that. Why go back and forth on the same possession like that? Can someone explain that to me? Because I didn't see the benefit of it. And I've been arguing, hey, if you want Lincoln to get more playing time and meaningful parts of the game, put him in earlier with the number ones, or put the second string offense in a little bit earlier when you're up 3 or 4 scores. Put them in. You don't have to wait till the fourth quarter and then get very vanilla with your offense. Put them in and still run your offense. But now week 11, and we're going to go back and forth between Lincoln and Julian the week before. Like, I don't think that scares Michigan at all. It really doesn't. And I think, if anything, when Michigan comes in, or when Lincoln comes in, Michigan's just going to get closer to the line of scrimmage and dare him to throw the football. That pass he had with Brandon Ennis was on the guy's back, was on Ennis's back hip and got him slammed on his shoulder. It was not a good looking pass. So I didn't like it. I thought it was bad. Maybe you disagree. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But to me, it was a part of the bad. Which brings me to the ugly. Let's talk about the fumbles. Man, we had a ton of fumbles. We had one we lost that was bad, right? Very first drive of the game. Bo Jackson fumbles on the goal line. Should have went up 7-0 on the first drive. And maybe this game looks and feels completely different if you score the touchdown there. You had Max Clare fumble one. James Peoples, the man on the spot to recover it there, thankfully. And then we had a bunch of guys fumbling out of bounds. They would get hit out of bounds, but they were still fumbling the football, right? I think C.J. Donaldson at one time fumbled out of bounds. He gets hit, fumbles out of bounds. Lincoln Keenholz hits the ground, the ball pops out. Well, that's not a fumble, Boggs. I get it, but crazier things have happened. Like, we're at week 11, and we can't keep a hold of the football right now. So, to me, that was a part of the ugly. I mean, maybe I'm just trying to be too much of a perfectionist. And again, maybe you disagree with me. That's fine. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. But to me, that's a concern. Fumbling the football at this stage of the season like this. Not good. All right. An obvious lack of development in the wide receiver room behind Tate and Smith. That's what I'm calling this. I don't think Mylan Graham's ready. I don't think Bryson Rogers. You can't tell me he was ready to play today. I didn't see it. I mean, no catches. Is there a lack of development behind Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith? And I didn't say lack of meaningful snaps in games or playing time or anything. There might be a lack of development in that wide receiver room right now. Quincy Porter didn't play. He was injured as well. Maybe that has a lot to do with it. I don't know. Would we have looked different if he was available? But that is a concern for me. And it brought up the question in the chat, and I thought it was a great question during the live game watch, was if there is indeed a lack of development in the wide receiver room, is it because Brian Hartline has moved to OC and he's not working with the wide receivers all the time, every minute of every day, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, as a position coach? Maybe. It's something that needs to be looked at, and I think it needs to be talked about in the offseason, maybe even addressed. And maybe all of this gets fixed as soon as Jeremiah Smith gets back. Maybe Smith not in the lineup really affects how the passing game looks without him there because defenses have to focus on him so much. Maybe that's a part of it too. And maybe I'm overreacting here. But if I'm not, don't you agree that that's not good? That's an ugly aspect of things right now. At least it was in this football game. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that's my good, my bad, and my ugly in Ohio State's 42-9 win over Rutgers. It's hard to have a lot of bad and ugly in a 42-9 win, but it seems like there actually was a lot today, especially in that first half when Rutgers kind of gift wrapped at us our first two scores and we fumbled away our first one. So we got to get off to a better start. Next week is going to be very important. We want to get off to a hot start. We want to get up to a big lead. And of course, as Buckeye fans, we want to bury them if indeed we can do that. Is Ryan Day playing through three-dimensional chess? Is he holding Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith out and he's going to unleash holy hell on the Wolverines next week? Is that where you're at? Is that what you're thinking? I'm not there, guys. I have some concerns. I would love to know what you all think. Let's talk about it. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's hate week. Let's have some fun this week. Go Bucks.